Ready to get down to business? Join seasoned entrepreneur, community leader, and Army veteran Scott Shalom Klein, who will take you behind the scenes with those who work in America's small business scene and speak with leaders making an impact, creating jobs, and telling their story in entrepreneurship. So let's get down to business. On AM 560, The Answer, here's your host, Shalom Klein.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here on with Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts on my website at syklein.com. And can't wait to kick off today's program because we are being joined today by Ryan Atkinson, a true inspiration for young entrepreneurs. At just 24, Ryan took the leap, leaving his full-time job to pursue his passion for video production. He founded Spacebar Visuals, a thriving agency that's made waves in the industry. In its first year, Spacebar Visuals generated over $150,000 in revenue, a testament to Ryan's entrepreneurial drive and creative vision. But Ryan's expertise extends beyond video production. He's a seasoned podcaster, host of the popular Upflip podcast, where he's interviewed hundreds of successful entrepreneurs, amassing millions of downloads. And he's a recognized leader in his field, named to the Austin Business Journal's 25 Under 25 list. Ryan, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, exciting because you took a leap at a young age to start your own business. What was the biggest motivator for you to leave your full-time job and take that risk?
Yeah, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was raised by two small business owners, so I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. Quick story here: when I was like 22, I was interning at an AI company, and I remember I was actually like fired as a senior in college from the internship because they wanted someone, quote, more entrepreneurial. So I actually wrote down in my journal, "Start your own company by 25." Was kind of my North Star forever, and fortunately, I hit that before 25 when I was 24 years old. So small business parents, always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and just some other motivators there.
Wild. Awesome. And you've built a successful video production agency in a short time. What are some of the key strategies that contributed to Spacebar Visuals' rapid growth?
Yeah, I come from a sales background. I worked at HubSpot for a little bit of time in a sales role there, and HubSpot's obviously a world-class sales organization. Learned a lot there. Then I also had a marketing role at a health tech company, and both of those were manufactured. I wanted a sales role, I wanted a marketing role, and have both of those experiences before I start my own company. So the biggest thing that really has led to growth has just been like the sales strategy we have here with like an outbound strategy, contacting people, being able to put together a good offer. Fortunately, I learned a lot of that from HubSpot, but then also just applying marketing on it as well for my time at a company called Lumion. So the sales and marketing has been like the biggest levers of growth for us.
Well, that's awesome. And as the host of the Upflip podcast, you've interviewed numerous successful entrepreneurs. What are some of the common traits or characteristics that you've observed amongst those who constantly and consistently achieve their business goals?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm the host of the Upflip podcast where we interview entrepreneurs. In my whole life, I probably have interviewed over 300 entrepreneurs, but similar characteristics is just like a lot of resilience. Entrepreneurship is so hard. You have the crazy highs, but you also have those crazy lows. And so just being able to persevere through all of those and get through the tough times, seeing an obstacle, overcoming that obstacle, it's something that I see as a similar characteristic. And they just honestly, they know their numbers. That's the best advice I could give to someone, an entrepreneur, is like, know your numbers, know what your ROI is on a marketing campaign, know exactly how much you're paying someone. A lot of times they know their numbers down to heart. And I know there's a book like Measure What Matters. They measure everything. And that's how they're actually able to improve. So a lot of resilience and a lot of honestly just like knowing their numbers.
True. So in today's digital age, video marketing is more crucial than ever. Once again, I'm chatting with Ryan Atkinson, who founded Spacebar Visuals. And Ryan, can you share some tips for small businesses to create effective and engaging video content without breaking the bank?
Yeah, great question. I would say if you are interested in creating video, you first need to do like an audit. What type of videos do you need? What type of videos do you already have? Start with how many videos you have or what you have. If you need a customer testimonial, if you don't have one, there's a simple gap for you. If you need that top of funnel explainer video, identify that, create a top of funnel explainer video. If it's a product demo, if you're a SaaS company, do that. So just do an audit first. To not break the bank, there's a whole lot of ways to not break the bank. If you want it done professionally, obviously go to like a video marketing agency. But of course, there's a ton of tools out there where like you can, if it's a product demo, go on Loom or Zoom and just record yourself going over the product. You can create videos in Canva without breaking the bank. So I definitely get the small business budgets. I definitely understand that there are scrappy ways to do it. So start with Canva, start with Zoom. But first, do that audit and identify how many videos you need and where you need videos at. Okay.
And here's the big question. And I feel comfortable talking to you, Ryan. You're pretty transparent about your own experiences. Yeah. But, entrepreneurship is not just rainbows and butterflies.
Oh, God,
Do you mind telling us about some of the biggest mistakes that you've made as an entrepreneur and what lessons you've learned from those experiences?
Oh man, the amount of mistakes that I have made as any entrepreneur I've made, it's just crazy. Honestly, a lot of it, some big ones that I've made really comes down to hiring. I feel like I'm not the best that comes to hiring. And honestly, a lot of it is just from like gut feel of like, okay, how do I think this person's going to be? And a few times that has not really served us. So what we do now for hiring is hire based off of our core values. Who's actually going to fit into our culture? What are our core values? And then hiring for that. Hiring is obviously a big one. And there's so many like just many mistakes you make with like dealing with clients, cash flow management, not having a successful marketing campaign. Honestly, a lot of entrepreneurship is like how you become a good entrepreneur is making those mistakes, but being able to learn from them. I think that's a super important part of it. Is it's okay to make mistakes. We are all going to make mistakes. You are going to make 1,000 mistakes as an entrepreneur, but you need to be able to learn from those, grow from those, and continue to build from those.
Couldn't agree more. So, we have this conversation. We're having this conversation right now in early 2025. We air this on AM 560 in Chicago in the beginning of the week. And I love that because we give people the opportunity to kick their week off with a really good start.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, for aspiring entrepreneurs that are listening, what's the one piece of advice that you would give them that they could put into action this week going into the week ahead?
Yeah, one piece of advice. If you're wanting to be an entrepreneur, like the first thing I can do is just take action. There are probably thousands of people listening with business ideas. They're like, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. You really don't know what you want to do until you start doing it. So just take action on it. If it's reaching out to a potential customer, reaching out to a friend saying, hey, will you buy this from me? Reach out to your friends and family first, depending on the product, and say, hey, will you buy this from me? I would say that's like the one piece of advice I'd give to someone this week is honestly just start. What's holding you back? Well, obviously, we all have come from different backgrounds. We have different responsibilities, but just start this week. Why not go get your first paying customer? And that's when you can start to build and become a real entrepreneur.
Cool. And one of the things that we talk about often on Get Down to Business is networking and relationship building. Certainly, you're young, but you've experienced, I know, all different sorts of networking and you do some of the old fashioned stuff, but I know you're also utilizing, again, the tools that you preach about video marketing and so on. But what's been the most effective tools for you in terms of, maintaining your contacts and relationships, but also getting to know people that you otherwise would have not have had the opportunity to connect with?
Yeah, honestly, connecting with people that I would not have the opportunity to connect with, that's what podcasting is so amazing for, is because it just opens the door to so many people. When I started podcasting August 2020, I was talking to someone that had a podcast and I was entering my senior year of school. And I was like, yeah, I want to do a podcast, not sure. And the guy's like, why don't you just do it? Like, it's going to open up so many doors for you that you don't even know exist. You're going to have so many conversations with people that you couldn't have before. So honestly, one of the greatest networking hacks I have ever done has been podcasting. I've connected with so many amazing people that would not have talked to me otherwise. I am mindful of that. So my best networking hack right now is start a podcast and connect with people that you want to connect with.
So true. So true. Well, Ryan, I want to give the last word back to you. Again, we've been chatting with Ryan Atkinson. I want to make sure our listeners can get in touch with you at Spacebar Visuals, find your podcast, the Upflip Podcast, and anything else that you want to share with our listeners. How can they get in touch?
Yeah, you can just find me on LinkedIn, Ryan Atkinson, CEO of Space Star Visuals or podcast host of Upflip. Check me out there. Connect with me. If you want to visit our website, go to www.spacestarvisuals.com or go to upflip.com and find all of our amazing podcasts and YouTube videos there. But that'll be the best way for you to connect with me.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, really appreciate you coming on the program and really appreciate you sharing your expertise with us. I've certainly learned a lot, and I know our listeners will as well. We'll link in the show notes. But listeners, don't change the channel because we've got a lot more small business jobs and entrepreneurship coming up after a very quick break. As always, you can subscribe, rate, review, and share, and that ensures that you won't miss a single episode and also ensures that your colleagues won't miss an episode. We've got a lot of great information for you, and I love to hear from our listeners, which you can get in touch with me via my website, syklein.com. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back and Get Done's Business.